So it's a $7 billion investment for a plant that makes 1 million cars a year that makes $15 billion a year in profits. So you invest $7 billion and you make $15 billion a year. Who does that? And for a plant that makes things, manufacturing. And so the way this is accomplished is that, so you're doing it with casting right now. And casting half of the car, and you can soon cast the other half of the car. And other companies, why don't they try? Why don't they try to do what we're doing? In fact, one of the executives of another automobile company wanted me to introduce her to you. You did that once at a meeting, and now she wants to come visit with her director of engineering at our plant in Austin. And I presume when I ask you, you're going to say, yeah, bring her on, because you innovate so fast, by the time anyone copies what we're doing, it's on to something else. What else is there? When you're casting, what else is there that enables us to make it cheaper? Are we eliminating a lot of other parts? Are we eliminating functions? What are we doing to do that? How would we sell a car that's so cheap?
I mean, I think the full explanation, or at least an accurate explanation, would take a long time, because first approximation, a car is made of 10,000 unique parts and process steps. And Tesla is really, I think at this point, probably the best at manufacturing in the auto industry, which I think what nobody was expecting.
Probably in the history of the world.
I've got this first principles algorithm that I find to be very helpful in the design and manufacturing of anything. People here may find it helpful. The first thing you should do is make the requirements that you've been given less dumb. Whatever constraints and requirements were given, they were to some degree dumb, and you want to make them less dumb. If you don't start with this, then you get the right answer to the wrong question. The requirements must be given from a person who can explain the requirement, not from a department, because then you don't know who to talk to. Then step 2 is delete the part or delete the process step. This sounds extremely obvious, and yet over and over again we have found that parts were not needed. They were just put in there just in case, or by mistake, or there was a step that someone thought was needed, but was not actually needed. This sounds insanely obvious, but we've deleted so many parts from the car that did nothing.
They were just there?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can give you so many examples. One example was there were 3 fiberglass mats on top of the battery pack. They partially covered the battery pack, and I was on the battery pack production line, and it was the number one thing choking battery pack production were gluing on these 3 fiberglass mats to the top of the battery pack. But the reason I repeat this algorithm myself is that I first did things backwards. First, I try to automate it. Then I try to accelerate it, just have this go faster. Then I try to simplify it, and only then did I delete it. Because it turned out that the team at Tesla that does noise and vibration minimization, so making the car quiet, thought that the fiberglass mats were there because of the battery safety team for battery fire prevention. And then I asked the battery fire prevention team what were they needed for, and they said, oh, noise and vibration. And I'm like, okay. So then we had 2 cars drive, one with a microphone in each car, and you could not tell the difference. So we went to all that trouble for a part that should not exist. Another example was these were choke points in the entire production system. That's why I'm running around the production line trying to fix the production line, just like a maniac, sort of Tasmanian devil, just running around the factory like a lunatic. And let's see, we had the body production line in Model 3 was at one point stuck because we had a laser welding cell to weld a small cross-car beam in the passenger footwell of the front seats. This beam, and I'm like, what the heck does that do? Because the entire factory stopped trying to get this laser weld cell to work, and I'm like, I can't imagine what a useful thing it could do. And the production team said, oh, that's for crash safety. So then I called the crash safety team and said, is this for crash safety? They said, oh no, that didn't do anything. We should delete it. It turned out to be totally useless. But they forgot to tell the production team. Honestly, a bunch of these things just feel like you're living in a Dilbert cartoon. Oh no, any given company, they should have what's your Dilbert ratio? Okay, it's not 0.
So is this you, or is this your
Dilbert quotient? Try to keep it low.
So is this you, or is this? So you do all these different things.
No, that's literally me.
So do you have?
This is not someone else who did this. I was living in the factory in Fremont, and the one in Nevada for 3 years straight. That was my primary residence. I'm not kidding, literally.
Did you keep the couch?
I actually slept in a couch at one point in a tent on the roof. And then, but for a while there, I was just sleeping under my desk, which is out in the open in the factory, and for an important reason. And it was damn uncomfortable sleeping on that floor. And always, when I woke up, I'd smell like metal dust.
We went to visit, and they bought him a new couch.
Yeah, but actually, I stopped using the couch because there's a little conference room and a couch there. I stopped using the couch. I just slept on the floor under my desk, so during shift change, the entire team could see me. And this is important because, like, you know, the team, they think the sort of their leader is off somewhere having a good time, you know, drinking Mai Tais on a tropical island, which I could definitely have been doing and would much have preferred to do. I'm not actually a masochist, I think. But the thing is that since the team could see me sleeping on the floor during shift change, just with nothing, they knew I was there, and that made a huge difference. And then they gave it their all.
So the focus is on always lowering cost and providing leadership. And this company, we're doing 1.5 million cars a year, but you expect to do 20. So what happens in 10 years if you're not there? What happens in 5 years if you're not there? How does that work? I mean, are there all these people? So at all the engineering schools, the top engineering schools, the top choice of where everybody wants to work is Tesla or SpaceX. Those two places. So do we have all these people coming up and fighting each other for the job, or they're working together? How do you get people to say, gee, I could buy that real expensive house, but I'm not going to do that. Boy, I could go out on vacation. I'm not going to.
Well, we do have that problem a little bit. So, you know, as a company has prosperity, and then people become wealthy, and for a lot of people, you know, that once they become sort of independently wealthy, they just can't bring themselves to work, or they don't want to work, and that's totally, you know, understandable. I'm no judgment. And so, I mean, I have a lot of friends who are extremely talented, and they you know, had some success earlier in life, and they just decided, you know, that was enough trauma. And one of my good friend of mine saying, like, for starting a company is like eating glass and staring into the abyss. So when people tell me, like, well, what can you do to encourage entrepreneurs to start companies? I'm like, if you need encouragement, don't start a company. So
my question, though, is that if we have autonomous driving and we have autonomous trucks, is that one of the ideas that we're going to be able to move things around with our own, if there's not enough drivers?